Former Scottsbluff Police Captain Brian Wasson was back in court this morning for sentencing after he had pleaded guilty to theft charges after stealing drugs and cash from the Scottsbluff Police Department evidence room. Defense attorney Maren Chaloupka argued that her client has had chronic back pain since breaking his back while on a foot pursuit on the force in 2002 and battled the pain when trying to continue the duties of his job. She outlined that Wasson had been honest and forthright of all of his actions once he became clean and entered a 12-step program.
I'm asking this court to balance the understandable anger that Chief Spencer and his captains and his sergeant are feeling now with the feelings that were expressed by the 5 retired law enforcement officers who wrote letters expressing compassion, understanding, and support. Those retired officers have the same respect for the law as Chief Spencer and his captains. And maybe there's something about retirement that frees them to say what police know, that addiction happens to good and decent people.
Assistant Attorney General Michael Guinan argued on behalf of the state that Wasson abused his power to feed his addiction.
Now, while the thefts themselves did not put the Scottsbluff Police Department out of business, it didn't affect their bottom line. What it did affect is the trust. Not only the trust in the faith in the department with the community, but also the trust and faith within the department between ranks, and then ultimately, maybe most serious, within the command structure, within those who knew Brian.
Afterwards, Wasson addressed Judge Cindy Volkmer and apologized for his actions.
I was selfish. I exploited a trust that I was given by the community and my peers, supervisors, everybody. And I harmed all of them. And for that, I'm forever remorseful for that. This court has my assurance that I continue to work a program of recovery. I'm currently working the steps that have identified those I've harmed and will begin to make amends for those harms.
Ultimately, Judge Volkmer said that both sides presented good arguments and proceeded with the sentencing.
I find that there are substantial and compelling reasons for a period of incarceration, which include the fact that the defendant was not just a police officer in Scottsbluff, but he was a captain in the force. He was just below the chief and in a position of power and authority over his fellow officers. That Mr. Wasson interfered with at least 3 active cases due to his actions. That Mr. Wasson took evidence from other cases and provided it to his dealer, potentially putting the drugs back out on the street. And then the sheer amount of drugs and cash that were taken.
In total, Wasson was sentenced to 40 to 68 months in prison, plus $7,000 in restitution. In Gehring, Ryan Murphy, KNEB.TV News.